Good morning, students. Today we will do the third chapter of your book, Beehive, The Little Girl. The title of the story refers to the main character that we will come across, the little girl whose name is Kezia. The theme of the story is the relationship between children and their parents, and the writer Catherine Mansfield wants to tell us that children share a very important bond of love with their parents. Although when children are small, when they are young, they do not feel that their parents love them because their parents are strict and many actions of the parents seems unjustified, but it is only because they want to improve their children. But as children grow up, they realize that all the acts done by their parents were beneficial for them. The parents were concerned for them, and beneath the strictness lies a heart full of love for the children. And this bond of love between parents and the children has been highlighted through this story. So let's not waste the time and let's start the explanation of the chapter. To the little girl, he was a figure to fear and avoided. Now, figure to be feared means a person whom she was quite scared of. And who is the figure to be feared here? Kezia's father. So he refers to Kezia's father, and the little girl is Kezia. So the opening line of the story is indicating the fear that Kezia has for her father. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father." So every morning before going to work, Kezia's father would visit her in her room and give her a casual kiss. But she was so scared, she just replied, "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. Now she used to feel relaxed when she would hear the sound of the carriage that it is going away from the house. Now, in the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring me my slippers." So, as Kezia's father returned home, he would start ordering all different things. He would order that the to be served to him in the drawing room. He wanted the newspaper. He would ask his mother to go and see if the newspaper was there outside the house, and he would ask her to get him his slippers also. Kezia, mother would call to her, "If you're a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots." Kezia's mother would call out to her and ask her to remove her father's boots. In order to make her obey, she would say that if she was a good girl, then she should surely obey her command. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly, still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. So, again, we see Kezia's fear for her father. That is why she would come down the stairs quite quietly and slowly, because she did not want to face her father. She is scared of him. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. Now, just imagine Kezia's father sitting in the drawing room on a sofa wearing his spectacles, and he is looking at Kezia over the spectacles. And now, the way he looked at her terrified her. She was so horrified because maybe it seemed to her that he was staring at her. "Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today?" Kezia was reluctant in her work. She was very slow in her motion so that she might not commit any mistake, and got scolded by her father. And so her father would tell her to hurry up and remove the boots, keep them out of the room, and then he asked her if she had been a good girl that day. "I don't know, father." And Kezia replied that she didn't know. "If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor." So here Kezia's father is copying her, and he also stammers like she did. He says to her that if she stuttered like that, if she stammers, then her mother would have to take her to the doctor for a checkup. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying to so hard to say the words properly. Now she has stopped stammering, and she was making a lot of efforts to overcome that fear of her father, but then also she would stammer in front of him. What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about, mother? I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. Now, Kezia's father looks at her. He feels that something is wrong with her, and he asked her why she's so unhappy. And then he tells the mother that she should teach Kezia to behave in a better way, and she should not appear as if she was so unhappy that she is going to commit suicide or she's going to end her life. So he wants to say that Kezia seems to be unhappy. He hands her his teacup and asks her to place it back on the table. He was so big, his hands, his neck, especially his mouth. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. Now, Kezia has different kinds of feelings for her father. She feels that her father was so big, he was just like a giant. And the writer says that Kezia felt that his hand and his neck and his mouth were also huge, especially when he yawned. He seemed to be like a monster to her. And whenever Kezia thought about her father, she felt that she was thinking about a giant. On Sunday afternoon, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of his best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. Now, every Sunday during the afternoon, Kezia's grandmother sent her downstairs to the drawing room in order to spend time with her parents. So, Kezia was to behave in a nice and decent way in front of her parents, and they had a formal get together. So, here we feel that Kezia felt a bit neglected. Every Sunday afternoon, when she went to her parents to meet them in the drawing room and have a nice talk with them, they were busy doing their own things. Her mother was busy reading, and her father was busy sleeping and snoring. So Kezia had this image of her parents in her mind. They did not talk with her, they didn't spend time with her. On the other hand, they were busy doing their own things. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. Now, gravely means very seriously. So, all the while, Kezia's father was asleep. She would just sit on the stool and watch him carefully till the time he would wake up and stretch his body and then would ask the time, looking at her. Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl. Now, Kezia's father compared Kezia to a little brown owl. He would say that Kezia was staring at him just like an owl does. One day, when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make him a pincushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. Now, Kezia was not well one day. She had cold, so she was staying at home with her grandmother. Then grandmother suggested her that as she was at home and her father's birthday was approaching, she should make a birthday gift for him. Actually, she wanted to mend relations between the child and the father. She asked Kezia to make a pin cushion for him, and she also gave her a yellow colored fabric of silk to make the cushion. Laboriously, with a double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides. Laboriously means with great hard work. But what to fill it with? That was the question. Now, with great efforts, she started making the pin cushion. She used double cotton and she stitched 3 sides of the cushion. Now, what was to be filled in the back? The back shape of the cushion, she had to stitch the 4th side, and before that, she had to fill the cushion with something, and she did not know what to fill the cushion with. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered in mother's bedroom to look for scraps. Wandered means she went into the room to search about, and scraps are the small pieces of cloth or paper or whatever she could fill, something that was not generally needed in the house, and she could fill in that cushion. She was quite confused what to fill in that cushion. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case, then sewed up the fourth side. Now, Quasia is a small little girl. She's very young. She Now what she do on the bed table? She found a few sheets of paper. So she just gathered all the sheets, tore them, and stuffed those pieces of paper into the cushion. And then she set the fourth side of the cushion, and she had prepared a birthday gift for her father. So many of you can relate to Kezia's act. Many children do such things unknowingly. They do not intend to create any mischief or harm to anyone, but they end up doing so. Now, actually, Kezia has torn some important papers unknowingly. That night, there was a hue and cry in the house. Hue and cry means anger all over, and shouting. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Now, Kezia's father had prepared a speech for the Port Authority for a particular meeting, and he was unable to find it. Now, we all know where the speech has gone. Kezia has torn it into pieces and stuffed it into the cushion. Rooms were searched. Servants questioned. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. Now, everywhere it was searched, and mother came into Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on her table in her room? So, Kezia's mother asked her that. Did she see some papers lying on a table in her mother's room? Oh, yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. Now, here we get to see that Kezia is an innocent girl. She did not do intentedly. She was just preparing for a birthday gift, and so very truly she tells her mother that she found some pieces of paper, and she found some papers and she tore them to stuff into the cushion. That is birthday gift that I have prepared for the father. Unknowingly, Kezia had done a great disaster. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. Now, Kezia's mother was very furious when she comes to know that Kezia has torn the speech that her father has written, and so she orders Kezia to come down into the dining room that very moment. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. To and fro means from side to side. Now, Kezia's father was full of tension as his important document has been lost. Kezia has torn it into pieces. Now, Kezia will be scolded for the mischief that she has done. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Child, did you do that? No, she whispered. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. See that the child's put to bed this instant. The damn thing was actually the cushion he was asking. Now, why is Kezia's father referring to the cushion that he has prepared as a damn thing? Because he was angry at the cushion now. He was not able to understand the feelings of Kezia because he was worried about the papers, the important papers which he has torn. Now he was very angry and he stared at her and asked her if she had torn the papers. Kezia was so scared that she again stammered, and then Kezia's father ordered mother to bring the cushion down and asked her to put Kezia to bed at that very moment. At that very time, she was to be put into the bed. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Now, Kezia wanted to justify her action, as she was innocent. She did not mean to harm or to trouble her father. She was just preparing a surprise birthday gift for him. Kezia was very sad. She'd been happy that she had prepared a surprise for her father, and he would like it. But on the other hand, things had actually turned into a disaster. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hand. I'm going to beat you for this, he said. Oh, no, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. Bedclothes means bedsheets. Now, Kezia's father told her that he would beat her with the ruler. Kezia was so scared that she tried to hide under the bedsheet. He pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all. all not to touch what does not belong to you. Now, when Kezia's father was trying to be very strict with her, he said, you need to be taught a lesson that you don't touch anybody's thing in future. The things don't which do not belong to you, you should not touch. But it was for your birthday. Kezia tried to explain her position. She said that she had been preparing a birthday gift for her father and had to stuff it with something. She just tore the pages to stuff them into the cushion. She was trying to explain to him. She did not want to tear his important documents just to commit any mischief, but Kezia's father did not listen to her excuses. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms, and his father beat her with the ruler. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. Now Kezia was very afraid she had got beating. Her father had hit her small little palms with the ruler, and many hours later, her grandmother wrapped her in a shawl and was trying to pacify her. She made her sit in her lap on a rocking chair and was trying to put her to sleep. Kezia attached herself to her grandmother's soft body. What did God made fathers for? She sobbed. Now Kezia was very Kezia was heartbroken, and she was not able to understand why the God has made fathers. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You'll forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. Now, Kezia's grandmother was trying to pacify her. She gave her a handkerchief and she added that by morning Kezia would forget beating, and Kezia tried to justify herself. She said that she was trying to explain to him the reason for tearing the sheets of paper, but he was not ready to listen to her. But the child never forget. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her cheeks. Now, Kezia never forgot the beating that she had got. Whenever she saw her father coming towards her, she would keep her hands behind her back because she felt that maybe he would hit her again, and her cheeks used to turn red. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pockets, ran round and round the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them, laughing all the time. Now here the Kezia's neighbors are described. Her neighbors were a family named McDonald's. In all, the McDonald's had 5 children, and Kezia would peep at them through a hole in the fence. She would see that the family had a lot of fun. They played a game called tag. Tag is a children's game of catching one another like we play catch. So all the children along with their father would have a lot of fun. Mr. McDonald would make his little baby mouse sit on his shoulders, and the 2 little girls that he had, they would hang on his coat pocket. So all the children were so much attached to their father. They loved him so much. They would play with him, and he would not beat them. And then they would run around the garden, around the beds, and they would laugh and laugh and laugh. Kezia also wanted to have such fun. But when she looked at her family, she could easily find the contrast there, that she was scared of her father. Even mother and father would not spend such quality time with her. Then it was decided that there were different sorts of fathers. Now she decided that, looking at Mr. McDonald, she realized that he was quite opposite to her father. She felt that God had made various kinds of fathers. Suddenly one day mother became ill, and she and grandmother went to hospital. One day Kezia's mother fell ill, so she was taken to the hospital, and the grandmother also went with her. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. That was all right in the daytime, But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. The little girl, now Kezia was all alone at home with the cook. The name of the cook was Alice. Now Kezia was fine during the day, but at night when the cook put Kezia to bed all alone, Kezia started feeling scared. What I'll do if I have a nightmare, she said. Nightmare is a bad dream. Kezia asked Alice that if she had a bad dream, what would she do alone? I often have nightmares and then Granny takes me to the bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. Now Kezia was scared to stay alone. She was scared of her nightmares. So she said that she could not stay all alone in the dark. She could hear different kinds of whispering sounds which made her feel that there was someone around her. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks, and don't you scream and wake your poor pa. So Kezia's father was sleeping in the next room, and Alice told Kezia to sleep quietly. She removed Kezia's socks and asked her not to scream. She warned her that her father's sleep should not be disturbed, but Kezia was helpless. But the same old nightmare came. The butcher with the knife and rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma, Grandma. She woke shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. Butcher is a person who cuts animals, who cuts meats. So now the nightmare was again there. She saw a butcher who was holding a big knife and rope, and he was approaching Kezia. She was so scared of him. She was terrified to see the butcher, and in her sleep, Kezia cried out for help. She cried for her grandmother. When Kezia woke up, she was shivering. She was trembling, and she saw that her father was standing near her bed and was holding a candle in his hand. So Kezia's father had heard her screams, and he heard that Kezia was calling for grandmother. What's the matter? He said. Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want Granny. Now he asked Kezia what was the matter. She was so scared by the nightmare. She said that there was a butcher and she wanted her grandmother back. He blew out the candle, went down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. So now there was a change in the affectionate father was being displayed. So here we can see the affection that Kezia's father has for her. He blew the candle off and carried the girl into his lap to his bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. Tucked up means he nicely covered her in the bedsheet. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. Now Kezia felt her father's affection, and so she went close to him. She snuggled herself towards her father, and she held his shirt tightly so that she would not feel scared again. And now Kezia had overcome her fear of her father. She was no more scared of him. She was lying close to him. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. Now, she was not even afraid of the darkness. Her father asked her to rub her feet against the legs so that they became warm. Tired out, he slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. So as Kezia's father was very tired, he slept before she did. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father. Not so big after all, and with no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. And every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. She stirred suddenly and sighed. Now Kezia realized her mistake, that she had affection, and she even realized the affection towards her father. She felt that her father was a poor man. He worked so hard. He was not so big as she found him to be a giant earlier. Now she felt that her father was a man who worked very hard and so got so tired he went to sleep and did not play with her like Mr. McDonald did with his children. But Kezia felt that her father's heart was also full of love for her. She realized that she has torn up his important documents that day, the speech that he has written, and then she realized that it was her mistake, why her father had beaten her, why he had been so strict with her. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream. Although Kezia's father was asleep, he heard her sigh. He found that Kezia was still not asleep and he asked her, was some other dream troubling her? Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you've got, father dear. Kezia replied to her father that she had placed her head on her father's heart and she could hear his heartbeat. And she complimented her father that she had a big heart. So Kezia realized her love for her father and she also realized that her father also loved her. Now, this finally she realized that her father also had a loving and generous heart. And when the last time he has beaten her up, that was only just because of her mistake. So I hope now you have understood the chapter. Thank you.